So I saw Immaculate, and it was
Groovy.
pretty fucking awesome. What's going on, everybody? I'm Can't Kill Dill, lover of all things morbid, macabre, and horrific, and if you are too, then go ahead and stab that like button, please. Immaculate is directed by Michael Mohan, starring Sydney Sweeney. The duo previously worked together on The Voyeurs, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually haven't seen The Voyeurs, but I'm definitely gonna put it on my list. Going into this movie, I was a little excited because it's Sydney Sweeney, but also, if you know me, you know that I am a big fan of religious horror. I fell in love with it as a child with, like, The Exorcist, right? That film scared the ever-living shit out of me as a little boy. I remember my sister had, like, a fridge magnet of Reagan when she's all fucking fucked up, and I remember I was afraid to walk through her kitchen because the fridge magnet was just too much to bear. I couldn't deal with it. That's beside the point. I've always been infatuated with religious horror ever since my first experience seeing The Exorcist. I'm in love with that subgenre of horror, right? But lately, it's just been kind of... It sucks, man. Lately, it's just not been great. The Pope's Exorcist was a big letdown. Exorcist Believer, I don't even want to fucking talk about it. So I didn't want to get my hopes up too high for this movie. But I have to say, I had a really good time. Right from the beginning, the movie kind of just reaches into your fucking ribcage and grabs you by the heart and makes you pay attention. And you gotta pay attention. It's just, it pulls you in. It's really, really well done. The setup to this is so good. And then there's just this overwhelming, ominous fucking cloud of doom hanging over every fucking frame of this movie. It's hard to describe other than just that. It just is. And it's very much felt. This whole vibe that is present throughout the film is just, it's there. And I'm sure that was intentional, and it definitely worked. For me, it worked. This was one of those movies where I felt like I always had to be paying close attention to what was going on. And maybe it wasn't quite that far. Maybe I was just, kind of overthinking it. Maybe. But I had such a visceral experience with this film. I just really enjoyed it. It felt very raw. Sydney Sweeney, dude. I am not even that big of a Sydney Sweeney fan. Well, I kind of am now. I didn't care that much before. She kills it in this, man. She's fantastic. I know that she's also a producer on this film, so I'm pretty sure this film is something very, very close to her heart, something that she's wanted to do for a long time, and she delivers. She kicks ass. There's this scene at the end when she, and by the way, there's going to be spoilers, but there's this scene at the end where she is, in labor and giving birth, and it's just unbroken camera on her, just belting it out, just these agonizing screams of horror and pain and revulsion and fear. It's just, it was so visceral and raw. It was awesome. She fucking delivered. That shit gave me chills. And the ending was, I don't think it could have ended any other way. I think the ending was fucking awesome. Something I really appreciated about this movie was it totally threw me for a loop. Going into it, I was expecting, okay, so this is going to be some crazy black magic ritual. They're praying to some fucking demon or the devil himself, pretending, disguising himself as God to basically bring in this, savior child, right? But really it's like the son of the devil. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, oh, this is kind of a bummer for, the first Omen, like, whoops. But, it's not that. They have their whole own spin on this, and the way it's orchestrated with them having the nail from the crucifixion and getting like fragments of DNA from bone and blood, and basically for the last, few decades or whatever, they've been attempting and failing at basically cloning Christ. And what a fucking cool concept. What a different take. I really enjoyed that. That's not what I was expecting, and it was badass. Sydney Sweeney, she, starts off this movie and she feels very innocent. She plays that innocent archetype so well. And I know that she's like, she's a woman, but she feels so young and so innocent, and she just really sells this part, right? But at the end, dude, when she starts fucking people up, man, right when the doctor was like, "No, I'll be right back," and I was like, "You fucking, something's gonna happen, dog," because, and then motherfucking Superior or whatever the fuck started taking her little gooey stick and doing the ultrasound and, you know, checking out her little baby savior. Dude, Sydney Sweeney, man. Holy shit balls, Linda! What the fuck? That was awesome. She just fucking cracks her again and again. And then I was pleasantly surprised with the amount of gore. You know, it reminded me as she's bashing her head in while she's laying on the floor. The gore was it felt like a return to the days of old. You know what I mean? Back in the 80s and shit, those films from the 80s, you know, that a lot of us grew up watching, those slasher films and stuff, they were very gory and the practical effects were really good. And then, you know, somewhere in the 90s, you know, through the 2000s, we started shying away from that and started doing these, you know, PG-13 horror films and stuff like that. It was just really nice and refreshing. And I know this isn't the first film in modern, you know, more of a modern time to do this, but I wasn't personally expecting the gore. And no, the movie's not completely flooded with gore. It's not a fucking gore porn movie. It's not fucking Hostel or anything like that. But when there is, it's well done. You know, it is just really well done. And Cecilia kicks ass, man. She just starts going around. First she bashes fucking Mother Superior, then she goes to Father Fucknut or whatever and chokes him out with the fucking rosary. That was tight. Honestly, the moment when the doctor saw her drop that fucking guy, you know, and he fucking starts dipping out, I straight up thought that she was gonna fucking chase that motherfucker down, dude. I thought she was gonna go after him like in labor, fucking coming after this dude. That's not exactly what happened, but I am a huge fan of religious horror, especially when it's pulled off well. Maybe I have a soft spot for my newfound love for Sydney Sweeney, or maybe it's the soft spot for religious horror in general. But I gotta say, man, they pulled this off. I'd easily, you know, I'm gonna give it a fucking like 4.5 out of 5, man. It rocked, dude. I really enjoyed it. And for sure we'll be picking it up like when like a steel book or something comes out. I'm gonna snatch it up for sure. Let me know what you guys think. Did you see it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it just kind of like meh for you or what? You know, let me know down below. And if you're into this kind of content and you want to see more, you just want to bullshit horror with me, then go ahead and stab the like button, slash subscribe, and got that bell notification. Later.